the event, they told me that you need to start from band 3, band 4. But versus in our call, you told me just apply straight for band 5, band 6 positions. So I just took your word for it. And then I went for like the band 5, band 6 academic positions and stuff. So I think it's from the one-to-one call where it changed. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And if you have all done all these things and you feel you have done it right, why are you still not where you want to be?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
8 weeks since you joined this community and you already got into a role with the potential of getting sponsorship. I am so excited for you.
Yep, excited about it.
Good, good, good. So tell me, when you first joined Empower Career Hub, when you came to my webinar, Physio Career Masterclass, what was going through your mind as you were in the masterclass, and what made you take that decision to join the community?
Maybe I'll give you some context before I joined in.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came to the UK, the plan was to figure out, okay, how do I want to fit in UK, or whether UK is even the place to be. But one thing that I knew is that in a clinical profile, a clinical portfolio, sorry, UK is a better place because there's a lot more autonomy, very similar to Australia. So I was very, very sure that, okay, if I land a clinical role here in the UK, it will get me back to where is it that I started first back in Australia. So that was one of the things I was looking for. And when I came to the UK, I was starting to do the applications, the NHS portals and um, recruitment agencies, all these various things. But you see, application styles differ from Singapore and the UK. So each week, as I got the rejection letters, I was like, okay, I need to do this. Now I started reading out other samples. Okay, I need to tailor this, or I need to talk. So as it was going like that, it kept going. I think I happened to see your ad on Facebook, if I'm not wrong. Okay.
Yes.
And the thing is, I also didn't have a social media account at that time. I mean, I don't use a social media account. So I was thinking, okay, I will reinstate my social media account because it's easier sometimes to find jobs through that as well. So that's the
Mhm.
reason why I reactivated my Facebook and things like that. Um, and so I saw this and I was looking at all opportunities back then. So I happened to click for this. While this has happened, I had also taken the time to explore my other interests. I was doing courses on I was doing courses on tech. I was doing courses on data analytics. I was doing courses in finance, things that I had wanted to do but never had the time to when I was working in Singapore, right? So I wanted to keep myself busy and keep myself active through this job searching process. One very good advice that I got in one of the finance courses I joined was that when you pay for advice, you know what you're getting. When you get free advice, you don't know what is the intent behind it. So sometimes it's better to be transactional and pay for advice rather than trusting free advice because you don't know where that comes from. And
Yes,
that
let's
really,
let's pause here, Dharmendra. Can you say what you said again? The advice that you got.
sure. Sometimes it's better to pay for advice because you know what exactly you are getting rather than free advice because you don't know where is it that it comes from, right?
Thank you.
I'm not taking anything away from free advice. I think there are good people around. I feel that people always have the best interest at your heart. But it also comes to the responsibility of the end user. When I pay for advice, I'm very careful because I'm paying for it, right? Versus free advice, there is no energy exchange, and I may take it for granted. I'm not saying everybody is like that, but you know, I may take it for granted because it's free. The value proposition of it's not experienced by me. Fast forward maybe a couple of weeks in front to the master class that was there, and So when it came down to the last 15 minutes, to sign up for the course and all of that, um, this thing came on me. Like, okay, um, now at the end of the day, like, okay, you can do this. So first few things that I noticed about the masterclass was that whatever you had covered in the masterclass, it took me 3 months to figure that out through my own process of trial and error, trial and error. So my thing was, okay, can I apply these things that I learned in the masterclass? Then I said, yes, I can definitely apply these things I learned in the masterclass. But then it dawned on me that I had taken 3 months to figure this out, whereas you had given it in 45 minutes. So for me, that was the change. Okay, you had given this in 45 minutes. It took me 3 months to figure this shit out. So I need something to fast track whatever is it that I'm doing. It's not that I'm doing things wrong. I'm on the right track, but I need to quicken this process. I need to fasten this process. And yeah, I just took a leap of faith and said, okay, if I lose this X amount of money. That's it. My time is getting more valuable because I need to land a job. So if I lose X amount of money. If I gain, I'll gain it a lot more because I would have secured the job, and things that come after that. So that was my, if you think about like practicality, that was my practical notion, being practical about that decision about investing in the Empower Career Hub. So that was a decision that I took, and I think it was a very good one because working this number of years, um, I find that having a mentor is a very underrated thing. It's very important to have a mentor, right? And finding a mentor is not really spoken about in a career perspective. Um, so I think that was good. My biggest takeaway, apart from all the smaller lessons um, in Empower Career Hub, is the importance of what a mentor can do for you in your career trajectory or in whatever is it that you want to go towards. Yeah, so that I think is my biggest takeaway is that.
And we have a process in Priya Physio's community. There is a process where you have structured live calls, then you have the live Q&A. How did that help you? And because you just shared that you've done a few courses recently, how
Mhm.
would you compare to the value that you got in those courses to a value that a physio is telling you that I can help you with my live energy? How would you compare that?
I think live calls are always better because it's real time. I mean, depends on the learner and depends on situation. Like sometimes if I'm learning something, I'd like to revisit the lesson and definitely, watch the recordings again, right? But I feel live calls are good because it puts you in a situation that you have to be present, especially if you are present. Like for me is if I cannot make it for the call, or if I'm just going to be listening and not really tuning in, I don't really, because connectivity issues when you're traveling and your bus and all that, I'll be like, okay, let's just take a break. It's okay, you watch the recording. But if I'm there, I would like to be truly 100% present, not just something that I'm playing at the back of my earpiece and then I'm doing other things. um and people differ in this. Some people will be like, no, it's okay to do it, but this is my personal thing
Mm.
about attending live calls. You have to be like 100% there. I think that's very different because you can actually apply the things straight away and you do it. You actually leech off that person's momentum, and it helps you to push yourself in that momentum a little bit more. Or sometimes I feel like, okay, am I just doing it for the sake that she's asking me to do it, or do I really need to just wait it out? Then if I feel that the decision is like, oh, I'm just putting it out because she wants me to put it, I will hold. And I'm like, okay, these are action items that I have to revisit, and then I'll take a call. Because at the end of the day, we are all mature learners, right? We're doing this for our own career advancement or for our own self-reflective process. So cannot be like in a primary school level. I just do for the sake of doing, but I feel that this is where it comes in, um, to
Yeah.
utilize the tools a little bit better. Yeah. So I think the
Hmm.
live calls is really good. I find that yes, the live energy is there, but also that the hackathon missions is quite extensive. And if you do it properly, it does take some time to do it. It's not possible to do it in a week.
And same with inner circle calls. I show up every 15 days, every other week, because I want to get live queries out of people. They don't share. And I will be inundated with messages if I keep revisiting and answering every single query, which could be answered in a group call where everyone is present and everyone learns from it. Not many people are courageous to ask their questions openly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I've started. I've seen a lot, especially with overseas qualified physios. Somehow they have it at the back of their mind that I'm not sure if I should ask this. I'm not sure if this is the right question. They overthink.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I also guess where it's coming from. It's very indoctrined, to ask, you shouldn't ask questions, or you'll be
Mm,
penalized from a young age if you ask questions, and yeah, I guess that it's very indoctrined, so it's very hard to unlearn these things, I believe.
mm,
It's really a process of unlearning rather than learning to ask questions, I believe. Figure out where the patterns come from. Yeah, I
mm.
guess it's that.
So you joined in December,
Yep, I joined in
yeah?
December.
You
Yes.
joined in December. From that day onwards to getting your first interview invite, how many weeks or days you would say went by before you could start seeing that this process works for you?
I got my first call back for the NHS interview. And I think the change came from our one-to-one call. And you had told me to consider going for academic positions. Till then, I had not considered an academic role, believing that I'd require a PhD before I even do this. Um, so I think that shift came when, like, okay, why don't I consider academic roles? The other thing that I think the biggest shift was that because when I attended the event, they told me that you need to start from band 3, band 4. But versus in our call, you told me just apply straight for band 5, band 6 position. So I had been doing a lot of band 3, band 4 applications previously. I mean, I did a couple of band 5, band 6, but definitely not band 6. I did a couple of band 5s. But comparatively, the ratio was a lot more towards band 3s and band 4s. And after that call, I just flipped the whole thing. I stopped applying for band 3 and band 4 roles. Because it made a lot more sense to me. Like, why would they hire me as a band 3, band 4? They didn't know I'm fully qualified. They're just going to think that this guy's using this as a stepping stone. I
Mm,
started to think from their point of view that, okay, yes, it doesn't make sense for me to hire this guy as a band 3 or band 4 because the moment he finds an opening, he's going to shift.
mm,
There's no longevity to the role. So then I was like, okay, let's be a little bit more fixed on, okay, what you thought was a good fit. And I was like, okay, she has done hiring roles before. Yeah, she's gonna know what she's looking for as well. So I just took your word for it. And then I went for like the band 5, band 6 academic positions and stuff. So I think it's from the one-to-one call where it changed my perspective, the paradigm shift that happened from that to look towards other opportunities that are more tailored towards my kind of expertise as well.
I'm glad it did. And look where you've landed.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought that was an important turning point. Yeah, so I thought that was a good shift from
Hmm.
the moment I joined.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you like to say to those physios who are stuck, who are overthinking, and who might have come to the Physio Career Masterclass, but somehow they can't convince themselves that I can let go and I can trust somebody else who knows what they're doing? What would you like to say to those physios?
The thing is, I think about this in two perspectives, right? And I'll share both perspectives. And to be honest, I stand somewhere in the center of these two perspectives, taking both schools of thought. Okay. My first school of thought is when the student is ready. the teacher appears, right? If you are ready to learn or unlearn, then you meet the teacher. I mean, the teacher is always existing, but you come into a contact with a mentor or a teacher because you are ready to learn. So my only thing in that school of thought, I will say, is be ready to learn, and then you will you will find the right opportunity, or you will find a way that it leads you to the right opportunity because you are setting your mindset to that perspective. The other school of thought is that maybe um, instead of finding your time to be ready, pay somebody else to make sure you're accountable. Having a mentor means that I find that having a mentor means that now you maybe sometimes it's very hard to stay accountable to ourselves, right? So by paying somebody, that why do you pay trainers, why do you pay physios? At the end of the day, we are here to educate you about your rehabilitation journey, work with you to achieve your goals, all the way back to the things that you want to do. Beyond a certain point, I feel that as physios, we are just support systems to work with people to achieve what they want, right? So patients have to be accountable or sort of accountable to us. They are paying us for the accountability, right? Strategies and accountability. So I guess you have to learn these your own lessons, what you're doing for others. You may have to do it for yourself. You may have to pay someone else so that you are accountable to that person. So
Yes.
these two ways I think about it.
Hmm. And I use this statement in my master classes. Only when there is value exchange, there is value in my life. We know
Correct.
so many examples. Everything that comes for free in your life, it's not important at all because you take it for granted because it's for free.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely agree with that. So yeah, I think for all the new learners out there, maybe one thing I would say, it's like, I think really have that reflective process. Is this where you would like to be? Number one. If this is where you like to be, great. But if this is not where you like to be, I think a good tool to do is to reflect and see all the things that you have done. And if you have all done all these things and you feel you have done it right, why are you still not where you want to be?
Hmm.
Right. So that's the only thing. So if it's not, then you need to really take a hard look on yourself and be very objective about where is it that you want to go, and then make sure that you get the right people to help you along that journey, because we all cannot do it alone. I
Hmm.
think we all need some level of support and help.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Da, and congratulations for getting successful in your job. I'm very happy for you, and I'm very happy with the commitment that you've given to the process.
Great, great. Thank you so much for your time, Priya, and for the support in the journey.